Hello students. So today I'll be presenting the PPT on this topic, that is wind loading, which is your second unit. Now in this wind loading you will be studying what is wind, what are its effects on the tall structure, how is the variation with the height, and the analysis procedure to find out the effects of the wind on the tall structures. So what is wind? Wind is nothing but the air which is in motion, and it is relative to the surface of the earth. This wind moves from the higher pressure to the lower pressure, and the wind is caused due to the rotation of the earth and due to the difference in the terrestrial radiation. So here you can see the high pressure zone is there, low pressure zone is there. So wind is moving from higher pressure to the lower pressure, or you can see it is moving towards the right side. Now this wind is always considered as a horizontal component acting on the structure. That is because the vertical component of the wind is very small and it is neglected. So the wind is always considered as horizontal, or we say it is a lateral force acting on the structure. Next is the wind variation with the height. So now we know the tall buildings, they have a greater height, or we say that a high rise building is the one wherein the height is more than 50 meters. So for such buildings, the effect of the wind is higher at the greater height. That is, if we see at the surface, or we can say that at the low rise building, the effect of the wind is almost negligible. But while designing the tall structure, we should always consider the effects of the wind. So here it is defined as: near the earth's surface, the motion is opposed due to the surface friction, the wind speed is reduced, and therefore we can see that at the lower surface or at the earth's surface there is the zero wind effect. But as the height goes on increasing and it reaches a gradient height, the effect of the wind is maximum. Now what is gradient height? Gradient height is nothing but it is the height at which the wind speed, it has a constant velocity. That is, it reaches a certain height and it will have a constant velocity, and that height we call it as the gradient height. So here we can see the variation of the wind speed as the height increases, and after a certain we see that there is a constant velocity which is acting on the structure. So that height wherein the constant velocity is there, we call it as a gradient height. So now this gradient height is 300 meters for the flat ground, and if it is a rough terrain, it is 550 meters. Now we shall see what are the wind forces that govern the tall structure. Here is a wind. Here we can see these are the wind forces which are acting on this tall building. So now we know that it is a tall structure, means the construction cost per unit area decreases because there is an increase in the lightness in the structure. We use the lighter materials, so the weight per unit area also is less. So increasing lightness in the weight per unit area, and also we see that there is a risk, there is a high risk, we can say, as it is a tall structure. We have seen that as the height increases, the effect of the wind on the upper parts, it increases. So there is a high risk against the wind forces at the higher level. So now what are the factors we shall consider for wind force or for designing of the tall structure, or to consider the effects of the wind on the tall structure? So here the wind pressure will depend on the geographic location, which means that on in which place it is the building is being placed or it is located. So that is the geographic location. Then the obstruction to the airflow. Now suppose this building or the tall structure is a single building in the surrounding wherein there are no tall structures or there is no obstruction such as say mountains or trees, then the effect of this wind will be directly. Suppose if there are mountains or tall trees and all, we see that there is an obstruction to this airflow. Then next is the characteristic of the structure. That is nothing but the property of the structure, which material used, what are the properties we define. So that all comes under the characteristic of the structure. Then when we consider the effect of this wind, it should be taken as the combined effect. So combined means the external pressure which is acting on the surface as well as the internal pressure created. These both combined effects should be considered for design. Then, while designing of this tall structure, here we shall see that we should consider the combined as well as the separate effects of the dead load, the live load, and the wind load on different parts of this structure. So it may be the roof, the cladding, the different floors. So we should consider on different parts what is the combined effect of this loading. And also we know that the wind load is always acting normal. It is always acting normal, that is the horizontal load to the surface on which it is applied. The one more important point is whatever effect of this wind is there, it should not cause any discomfort to the people inside and outside of this building. So we should design it in such a way that whatever effects of the winds are there, it should not cause any inconvenience to the people staying in this building. Then here we can see that since this is a tall structure, we consider it as a cantilever beam. So here this is the variation of shear, moment and deflection. So now here, since the shear we can see that it is maximum at the base, right? This is similar to a cantilever beam. Then here the moments are maximum at the fixed end, or we can say that's a fixed base here, and the deflection you can see is maximum at the top level. Here as the wind is acting, we can see the deflection is at maximum at the top, the moment is maximum at the bottom to resist it, also the shear is maximum at the bottom. Now analysis part. The different methods for the analysis of the wind load are the static approach and the dynamic approach. So now what is static approach? Static approach is used when we assume that the building is a fixed rigid body. It has unexceptional height, slenderness or susceptibility to the vibration in the wind. That is the height, the slenderness is, it is not prone to more vibrations. Then we go for the static approach, and it causes the elastic bending and the twisting of the structure due to the wind loads acting. Now dynamic approach. When shall we go for dynamic approach? When the building is exceptionally tall, that is very tall, it is long, slender, and it is vibration prone, then we should go for this approach. Also, when the wind which is moving, the wind gust. So gust is nothing but a type of the wind wherein it is the sudden motion of the wind which is acting, which will be acting for say around the sudden increase in the wind which will be acting say for about 2 minutes. So that we define it as the gust. We can see it in the later parts. So when this wind gust is acting on the structure, it induces the dynamic motions, which includes the oscillations. So when oscillations are produced, the frequency will be present. So here, as per the Indian code, when the height of the structure to the minimum dimension, that is say width of the structure, this ratio is more than 5, then we shall go for dynamic approach. Another is when the natural frequency in the first mode is less than 1 Hz. Then we should go for the dynamic approach of the analysis for the structure. So now first we shall see in static approach. Here we will be studying the Uniform Building Code that is used by the US, that is 1988 code, and also the Indian Standard Code IS 875 Part 3, which is for the wind loading. Now first we shall see in the Uniform Building Code. In this code, this is the US based. So here the formula used or the wind pressure calculated by CE, CQ, QS into I. So now these factors or this formula is got by considering into account the effect of this wind, that is the gusting wind. We consider the local extreme pressure, that is on what faces of the building the pressure is acting, also on the exposure, that is if it is in the open countryside or it is in the congested city. Then the type of the building, that is here whether it is for the hospitals, for the fire, for the police stations. So depending on all this, we have the wind pressure is given by this formula, that is CE into CQ QS into I. Here we shall see C is nothing but the coefficient of combined effect of the height, the exposure, that is the surrounding, and the gusting. Then CQ is the coefficient for locally high pressure for the walls and the roof elements. Now this QS we say it as the wind stagnation pressure, which is considered for a period of about 50 years period. What is the average wind speed considered there? Say for the building of 30 feet height above the ground. So here it is mentioned, there will be a map wherein it will be mentioned what is the QS value for different states there, for different regions. Then I is nothing but the importance factor. The importance factor 1 will be for the buildings and 1.15 for the post disaster building, that is the after effect buildings, and the normal all residential commercial buildings, one value will be taken here. So this formula will be used to find out what is the design pressure here. Now next we shall see is the Indian code. Now this we shall study in the next video. Thank you.